Dude, I keep getting ads for I don't know what like cookies are tracking me. I don't know what I clicked on, but on TikTok, every time I open up the app, I just keep getting hit with these same ads for a dating app for people who are looking for thick women.
Oh, nice. At least
I
that's
just
yeah, yeah.
I just keep getting hit with it. I don't I'm not
Target
even
audience.
I'm not even like that the guy who's watching those kinds of videos
Yeah.
on social media either. Like I try to keep my feed pretty clean, but I just keep getting hit with if you like this and it's just like some woman with the yams,
It's just
man.
an hourglass, it's not even a person.
It's just it really does feel like they're trying to tell me something.
Mhm,
Although you know what's I was like seeing this girl who was like a thicker girl,
mhm.
and I feel like my phone is like telling people shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's like one of those things where you start playing music, so you start getting a bunch of ads for music.
Yeah. It almost sometimes it's too freaky how it happens. It's like,
Yeah.
dude, I barely thought this. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Let
yeah.
alone say it, and you know somehow?
I don't know.
It's
I don't
scary.
I keep and the thing is like I'll get on sometimes I'll just like be in the park, right? In like pretty busy parks or like I'll be in a public setting.
Yeah.
And it's just like, do you like thick
It's
girls?
just it's just like power boosted sound too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like bass boosted.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, Tic Tac. Give me a
Yeah.
second, man.
Do you usually swipe or do you ever do like, all right, I'm not interested? Like after a while, you're like, this is too
Can
much.
you do that with ads though?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah,
But you're
that's
like
kind
kind of interested.
I'm
So
like,
it's like,
maybe I'll show me more later.
give me five, give me five.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I'll be
Hit the
back.
snooze button on this.
I'll see you in 17 scrolls. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, that is wild. I know a lot of times, like I said, like ads will be too specific where it's just like, what are you trying to do? Like, understand that apps, they'll like ask you, hey, can we have access to your
Yeah, I don't
web
like that. I
browsing?
always tell them no, you can't see shit.
But I love how it's like ask to app to not try. No, I'm telling you. Like
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah, yeah.
asking. This is non-consensual. What you're
Yeah,
doing.
I'm not being polite about this.
Yeah.
In Apple Maps.
Just in the middle of the park screaming at your phone that you don't want
Yeah.
him to track you. Yeah.
Like sometimes it's like, why does this app need access to my phone? Like access to make and control phone calls.
Yeah. I don't know. I honestly don't think I want to know. You know what I mean?
It's just it really just comes down to like they want as much data as possible so they can figure out the most efficient way to constantly be selling stuff to us.
Which is crazy because in theory it sounds way scarier that they want all your information, right? Like just hearing that is like, whoa.
Yeah.
But like when you think that they're only using it to sell you stuff, it's just like this is now it's just stupid.
It actually makes me a little angry cuz
Yeah.
like I hate when I'm getting ads for shit that I don't want. And
Mhm.
it's like, you're stealing my identity. The least you could get is get it right.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Although the
you know my
thick
date of
women
birth.
thing is on the nose.
Yeah.
I don't even have a type, but like it does know that I'm interested in women.
It knows one of the interests. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? What, dude, that would be crazy. One day, if there's like, I probably shouldn't give him ideas, but what if there's like an app that's just like miss your ex, and it's just your ex, and you're just like,
Yeah.
oh my
It's just
god,
an app to stalk your ex's Instagram.
yeah, it's just a link to
It's
it.
just Instagram.
Yeah, it's it's just, dude. Yeah, that stuff really scares me. Dating apps in general, like if I see ads for them and stuff, I don't know what
It's a
it
little
is.
dystopian.
Yeah, it feels almost. I mean, it is. It's just like forced. It feels like this shouldn't be a thing.
Well, because dating apps are already like every app is just trying to make money. So
Right,
like
right.
dating apps want to keep you on the dating
Which
app
is
for as
this,
long as possible.
dude? That's like hiring. It almost reminds me of like hiring an exterminator, and they get rid of all the bugs so they can't come back. So like, if
Yeah.
you're good at your job, that's a bad thing.
Yeah, yeah. Like it's like hiring an exterminator and then they plant mice.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They just make your problem worse. That I think that's the biggest downfall to like dating apps like Tinder and stuff, like Tinder Gold. And now there's like,
Yeah, yeah.
have you seen, I don't remember the name of what it's called, but there's like a membership where you pay like $500 on Tinder.
Oh, for like this the celebrity like status one, the one where you like get all the I don't even know, man, premium shit.
Dude, it's crazy. Like honestly, with the price of this, if you pay for this, it should be like a misdemeanor or something. Let me see. $500, dude. Can you imagine? Like, how down bad I have to have no hands.
500 dude, if I'm spending $500 on Tinder, my life has otherwise worked out pretty fucking good.
Mhm.
If I just have
Oh yeah.
$500 to blow on fucking Tinder. Tinder of all apps too.
Yeah, that's like the 4chan. It's like the 4chan
Yeah,
of dating apps. Like, if you're
yeah.
on there, you know what you're getting into.
I don't know, man. I've never had Tinder. I've never had a dating app on my phone. I'm actually writing a song and the opening line is if I download Hinge, somebody please intervene.
Yeah, yeah. It's like a call for
Just
help.
cuz yeah, literally, man. Like
Mhm.
that is my call for help. Like I'm at a point where I'm very lonely and somebody needs to like step in.
Right, right. Well, especially with you, your lifestyle, like you like to go out. You're in basically California, like social,
Yeah.
the social place to meet people. So I feel like it would be a lot easier if you're in like Omaha, Nebraska. You know what
Yeah,
I
but
mean?
also it's just like the type of person I am. Like, I
Hmm.
feel like dating apps would be very bad for my mental health. Like, some people I'm sure can like are totally fine, but like
Yeah.
I would be swiping and I'm like, fuck, man, this feels so like this is a person.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
know, man. Like like dating apps sort of get to me in a way that like other like social media apps don't.
Hmm. What do you
Cause
mean
like
though?
because TikTok and Instagram, all that shit is like, yeah, it's all algorithms and it's like designed to try and keep me on for as
Hmm.
long as possible. Same idea, basically. But like, at least I'm getting something
Hmm.
out of those things. Like all I'm getting out of like a dating app is like the feeling of loneliness.
Hmm. Oh yeah, I see what you mean. I mean, a lot of people talk about how like swiping on TikTok will make them feel really sad, but it's a different type though,
Yeah.
because at least you know it. I don't know. I feel like when you're putting like a value on a swipe, because it's basically like ones and zeros, right? One, say
Yeah.
you swipe right, zero is left, and it's just like you said, it's just a whole person with like
Yeah.
experiences and like it's all dwindled down to like a paragraph. That's
Uh-huh.
basically just template, like the meme about I want to be going on an adventure. Like it's how much personality can you really show in like a
Yeah,
paragraph?
yeah.
You know?
Uh-huh. Like if you're putting like I like music or like I like movies, it's like
Yeah.
come on, man. You
That's
gotta
why
give me more to work with.
that's why I think it'd be funny to create like a profile and just be like, I like breathing. Or like just you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I don't know.
Just I wonder what's like the most boring person you could become on a dating app and still get like some traction. That's
Mm.
another thing that actually like really like makes me hesitant to ever get on a dating app because like I know it's just an algorithm. And
Hmm.
did you see the whole thing? I think it was Hinge or maybe it was Bumble where there's like an attractiveness score
Oh,
that
it's
the app
terrible.
gives
I hate
you.
that. I hate
So
that.
basically the way it works is like um people who get a lot of like swipes right, whatever the good one is, their score goes up. And if somebody with a high score swipes right on you, that's worth more to you than if somebody with a low score,
Oh
somebody who
my
gets a lot of
god.
swipes left gets
Classification in a dating
yeah, so
app?
basically like if you get a lot of swipes right, if when you swipe right on somebody, that's telling the app this person is attractive.
Yeah.
And if it that just like the like I just know I would be thinking about that shit all the time.
Can you imagine the guy that like knows he's at 8.7 on Tinder? Like walking
Yeah,
up,
man.
like the confidence. Yeah.
8.7 is pretty good though.
Yeah.
That's a pretty high score.
I wouldn't want to know my score. I remember a
I think I
long
would.
really?
Yeah, but I know it would harm me in the long
That's what
run.
I'm saying, because
Yeah.
anything less than a 10, you're just like, "What's wrong with me?" And
Yes.
that's the worst attitude. I remember a really long time ago, this is like the one time in my life I ever asked somebody to rate me 1 out of 10. And I know it's like super popular like on like Kick Culture and stuff. That's like every dating show is like, "What's your ethnicity? Rate me out of 10. What's the perfect date?" Like, have you ever
Yeah.
seen like the streaming e-date shows?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
It's literally like the same 3 questions, but
I
not
think
to
a
d
lot of those the dudes that are going on those shows,
they know what they're doing.
a lot of those guys just fucking suck, man.
They're just I don't know. It's like I don't have to really say much. We
So
know we
many
all know what it is.
so many people in the dating scene would just benefit so much from just like somebody being like, "Hey, be normal."
Yeah, literally. That's the best advice that like I wish I would have gotten when I was younger.
Just be normal.
Just literally be normal. They always say be yourself, but like being yourself sometimes you're like overthinking it or you're just a terrible person. So
Yeah.
that's not a good
Be
thing, but
yourself, but be like a normal version of yourself.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then like as the relationship gets more serious, you could tell her about your like Hello Kitty train sets or whatever.
Mhm. Yeah. Do they make those?
I would fold if a woman told me she had like a hyper fixation on Hello Kitty train sets.
And she like built the tracks and like
Oh
that'd be
my
kind of
god,
cool.
dude, hell yeah.
Yeah. I love when anybody has like a passion. Like it's just like cute. You know what I mean?
I just like women who like definitely have
Hobbies and passions and
like a mental illness.
goals. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's wrong?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
what have
exactly.
you been through?
What's going on?
No, I'm like, what's wrong with you? Not the
You know
girl.
what I mean? Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I basically to wrap it up, it's just like a really quick story. I asked a girl what she rated me 1 out of 10. She gave
Yeah,
me
yeah,
the
yeah.
score, and it was like, okay, that's cool, but also I don't ever want to feel this again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like anytime I see people talk about like rate me on a scale 1 to 10 or rate that person, I'm just like, yeah, I can't. It's just like so unfair,
Yeah.
you know?
I just yeah, man. I've been rejected. Everybody's been rejected.
For sure.
And that shit does not feel good. I don't need that like on a numerical scale.
Yeah. How much do you reject me?
Yeah, yeah.
Right. Yeah. Do you feel like okay, let's have a scenario. Let's say what's the most likely place you would approach somebody or meet
Most
somebody?
likely place.
Yeah.
Anywhere like I'm frequenting a lot,
Mhm.
like I feel a little hesitant. Like if I'm going to the gym is a
Yeah.
hard place for me to approach somebody just because one, I'm there a lot and I don't want to like I don't want to ruin a place for me by like
Mhm.
being like, oh, I had that weird interaction and I don't want to see that girl. But also like a place where a girl's not gonna feel like vulnerable, I guess. So like the gym is like that's a tough one. But
Mhm.
like I feel like a coffee shop is really good.
Is
Like
that
I
where
go
you
to a
meet people? Like normally
I
that
go
you've dated?
to I have where do I meet people?
I know my answer.
I've met girls like everywhere. Like at the uh,
Where can
I
I
met a
meet them?
girl. Yeah, I mean, look at me. No, I think I don't know, man. Like, because it's hard to meet people in general.
Yeah.
Um, so anywhere where like you make friends, I think is a good place to like meet a girlfriend. I guess.
Mhm.
I don't know. What's your answer?
Mine is mostly online because that's usually like how you
So, are
I
you a
don't
dating app person?
know. It's mostly like through social media, just be like the most random interaction or to be
Yeah.
somebody like I get to know. I feel like a lot of the times once you get to know someone really well, you just kind of understand who they are, and I think that's how someone like gets more attractive cuz like everyone at face value like is one thing to be attracted to somebody.
What's your DM approach?
I don't.
You don't
And
DM?
I know that sounds like weird or like I just feel like it happens naturally. It's never like an approach thing.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably why things would go like better rather than worse because you're not like forcing pressure on anybody or putting them on the spot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
The
yeah.
last girl I dated, I did hit her DMs.
Mhm.
She was like a bar manager of like this bar I follow on Instagram,
Mhm.
and they posted her, and I was like, she's cute. I followed her, and then she followed me back. Like
Oh yeah.
after I think it was like one of those situations where like it was a story like, then she followed me back, so I was like, and then like this because story likes is like such a subtle like
Very subtle.
it's the equivalent of this.
Mhm. I see you.
You know what I mean?
I see you. Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like dating in the like digital landscape is so weird now though. It's like our
Mhm.
parents never fucking dealt with like, oh, she liked my story. Should I fucking DM her or
It sounds so stupid.
yeah, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
It's I
Like
think yeah, there's pros and cons.
but that's the reason I don't want to get on a dating app. Well, because okay, well here I
I
guess
think that's different.
here yeah, I think you're right. Here's the benefit of dating apps, right? Like everybody on a dating app is looking for a date.
Mhm.
You know, like it's not like we're in real life. Like you see a cute girl and you're like, maybe she has a boyfriend, maybe
Yeah.
she's just like not interested in looking for anything like that. Like
Mhm.
everybody you see on a dating app, like they know what they signed up for.
Right.
So like that's the, I guess, most redeeming quality of like downloading. I don't know, like Hinge or Bumble or Tinder, I
Mhm.
guess,
Mhm. You
or
just name off
Grinder.
like 30 you just name
Yeah,
off
yeah.
30 of them, and then after you're like, "Yeah, but I don't use them."
You know, the one that I keep seeing ads for is Boo. And I think
Really?
yeah, I keep
I don't know
seeing
if I've heard of that
Boo.
one.
I think it's like a smaller one and they're targeting me specifically.
Is that the thick Latina one?
No, it's not just Latinas, it's thick women.
Oh, thick women,
It's
okay.
it's what's the thick girl one? Fuck. Let me open up TikTok. I guarantee you I get that within 3 swipes.
That would be great.
Oh, I got a Tylenol one. It's because I got sick. Never mind.
It's pretty much the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is pretty crazy though. Dude, speaking of like ads or whatever, I for like a week straight just got like alopecia and balding apps, and I'm like, I'm not balding. Like it was so funny to me though. Or like I'll get like ones about just anything that an older dad that's worked like machinery his whole life. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah,
I
yeah.
punched in the wrong like occupation or something
What
on
did you
TikTok.
Google?
I don't know.
You're like, "How to declog a drain," and suddenly they were
Yeah.
like, "We gotta get this guy some Home Depot ads."
What is DeWalt? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, ads. I mean, ads don't really bother me too much. It's just when they're unskippable or you get like too many in a row.
That's actually I think maybe a good way to, like, weed out, like, a potential part like, I actually think maybe that's a good, like, first date question.
What are your
Like
ads?
what kinda ads are you getting?
Ooh.
That's actually kind of good. I would kinda wanna know that.
But wouldn't your answer kind of be like, okay, hold on a second, thick women?
Good
Like,
point, yeah.
it's not even your fault.
I would maybe not tell her that one.
Yeah, Tylenol is the only one I can think of.
No, I'm getting. You know what? Yeah, that's actually a good. So if a girl asked me like, "What are like the ads that you're getting on your phone?" I would tell her I'm getting a lot of ads for cameras because I'm looking to buy a camera. I'm getting a lot of Fender guitar ads because I was looking at a guitar, and I'm
uh,
getting a lot of Tylenol ads because I got sick. Dude, that's actually, I think somebody, if you're listening to this, write that down. That's a good. We're doing the work for you.
yeah. Just a lot of like yacht and mansion
Yeah, yeah,
ads.
yeah.
It's weird. I don't know.
A lot of Magnum Trojan 8-inch plus ads.
Um,
Um
I
a lot of finance ads for people who have too much money and are looking to donate it to good causes.
emotional
Causes that you specifically care about.
emotional therapy because I just love too hard ads.
Yeah,
Just like
yeah.
making stuff up.
Yeah. A lot of ads for people who are like too willing to commit.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, I don't know. Dude, I feel like it's been so long since we've even talked cuz you were sick last week
Yeah.
and now it's about to be St. Patty's Day. Have you ever celebrated St. Patty's Day?
Last year when I got hired for this job, I was like there for I was there at the job for like a week and a half,
Mhm.
and our boss took everybody to an Irish pub, and
Nice.
it was like the first time I was hanging out with my coworkers outside of work, and a lot of them got pretty fucking blitzed,
Oh yeah.
and I was like, "This is a cool job."
Yeah? Just because of how
Yeah.
like laid back they were?
Well, like we left early, like on a Friday, and our boss like just took us all to a bar, and he like paid for everything, so that was pretty cool.
That is sick. Yeah. I mean, well, does that count as celebrating? I guess it kind of does. You're at an
I mean, what do
Irish
you do
pub.
for yeah, like what do you do for St. Patrick's Day? Like I feel like you're that's the thing people associate with it. Just like go to a pub
Yeah.
and drink.
The biggest thing that I remember is like everybody in college would start drinking at as early as they possibly could. Like if the sun's up, they start
Yeah.
and they wear a lot of green and they go like what's it called? Like pub hopping? Bar hopping.
Yeah, yeah, bar
Yeah.
hopping.
Yeah, they just and that's pretty much it. And there'll be like, oh, maybe there'll be like a Arsenal's playing or something. There'll be like a like a football game or soccer game on,
Yeah.
you know. Football.
Damn. Poor Muslim people though, because it's
Oh,
Ramadan.
Ramadan was Sunday, I think.
Yeah, it's like it's like the middle of Ramadan. They can't even like is St. Patrick's Day always during Ramadan?
I'm not sure.
I actually don't know.
I mean, yeah, that I mean, that's a pretty crazy commitment. Like
Fasting?
fasting for as long as they do. I mean, I mean, I learned a little bit about like how they're able to still like drink water and maybe eat like something small at
So
certain times,
from sun up to sundown,
right?
you cannot have anything.
Uh-huh.
Like no water, no food. You can't break your fast anyway. Um but after 7 o'clock, I want to say, like after sundown, then you can eat. And I think you're still supposed to abstain. Well, Muslims don't drink, but like I think you're supposed to abstain from like some stuff.
Mhm.
But have you ever like you've done intermittent fasting?
No.
No, really?
Never. The only time I've ever
I
fasted is like because I didn't have food. So it's not technically fasting.
well, I mean, yeah, accidental fasting. I think
Yeah.
that's just being hungry.
Yeah. Dude, I
I
fasted for like an hour yesterday. It was weird. Then I
yeah.
had a snack. Like this guy is
I
dedicated.
did intermittent fasting for a little while. I did like a 16-hour window, so like
Mhm.
or like an 8-hour window. So I'd fast for 16 hours and then I would have like a time I would from like 11 to 7 at night I could eat or yeah. And then anytime outside of that I wouldn't eat.
How'd you like it?
It was all right, but I
Yeah.
mean, I've heard people say like, "Oh yeah, intermittent fasting's like super good for you." I mean, if you're just trying to lose weight, all you're doing is like trying to figure out how to stay in a calorie deficit.
Mhm.
So like intermittent fasting just seems like an overly complicated way to do that.
Yeah. Is it rude to say that you seem like a guy who would intermittent fast? Like, is that rude?
I'm a little upset with it, but I get it. I think you're right. Yeah.
Maybe it's
I'm a li-
because yeah,
I'm a little fucking offended by that,
yeah.
but I like if
Well,
I
like,
saw me,
dude,
I'd be
if
like that guy probably does intermittent fasting.
if you like, you almost check all of the boxes of a guy that I would hate. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you play guitar, you talk about like music all the time. Uh,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're
You
just
know
like
what?
an exception to the rule, I think.
You know what, dude? I was having this conversation today, but I just could not figure out like why the fuck do I really not like Austin Butler?
Who's
Like
that?
Austin Butler, the guy who played Elvis,
Uh-uh.
he's an actor.
Okay.
So
Look him up.
Dune 2 just came out, which if you have not seen Dune 2, fucking watch it, dude.
I gotta
That
see
movie
Dune
is
1.
awesome.
I gotta see Dune 1.
Dune 1 is cool.
I
It's
don't have 18
nowhere
hours to watch a movie though. That's the only problem.
it's pretty long. Dune
Like,
1 definitely feels longer, but I think Dune 2 is longer. Dune 2 is like, dude, I sat down in that chair and Denis Villeneuve, this is how much I respect that man. He's from Quebec, Canada, and I'm not even gonna make fun of him for it.
Okay, wow.
Denis Villeneuve, he along with Timothy Chalamet, Zendaya, and Austin Butler, made maybe my favorite movie of the past like 6 months. And I've seen a lot of movies.
I was gonna say that's big stakes. You said 6 months.
Dude, I'm telling you, this movie's fucking awesome.
I
Like,
heard it's one of the best sci-fi movies ever.
I walked out of that movie I felt like a conquistador. I was like, I
Mhm.
have to kill people who don't believe in God the right way.
Yeah.
I need to kill people who do not believe in Paul Atreides.
Okay.
Like, I genuinely feel like this is what people who like walked out of Star Wars felt like when it
Yeah.
was in theaters.
Right.
Anyway, Austin Butler is the guy who played Elvis, and like ever since I saw like that first interview where he was like talking like, yeah, that guy.
Okay.
Ever since I saw that interview where he was talking like Elvis and he was doing the voice where he talks like Elvis, I was like,
Mhm.
fuck this guy.
Uh-huh.
I do not like him, and from now on, anytime I see him, I will actively say out loud, "Fuck Austin Butler, I don't like him." And
Okay.
that's pretty much been me since that moment.
Okay, so wait, the reason he was brought up was because I said that you check all the boxes of somebody that you so how does he tie into that?
I feel like that's Austin Butler to me.
Oh,
Like
like
the guy who
you're the
checks
Austin
all
Butler
I
to
feel
other people.
like yeah, like some people look at me and see Austin Butler the way I see him.
Yeah.
And I get that, and it's probably my largest character flaw.
Why do you think that is?
Why do I think I don't like him?
Well, why do you think you come off the way you do?
Because I just look douchey. Like I look like a douchebag. Like I look like a gym bro.
I actually can relate to that though, because I've been told multiple times that I look like a Jake, or like,
That's pretty insulting.
yeah, I almost stormed out of the mall.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah.
I was at the
You'll
kiosk when the girl told me, but actually recently someone said because I told someone I was from Michigan and they said that I look like I'm from Cali. I was like, is that a bad thing? Like, what does that
Yeah.
mean? What do you mean by that?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I mean? Like, I feel like I give off Miss West or Midwest vibes, but I don't even know. Like,
I definitely think so, especially considering the flannel.
yeah, today, yeah, I had to wear some green. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I don't know. It's funny to think about how you come off to other people. I think your voice probably is a big reason. It's very like I don't know how to put it in words, but it's just like, oh fuck that guy. Like
You know what, man? I think I'm very aware of that, and I think that has been like good for me because
yeah.
I always assume I'm starting every like interaction from behind.
Yeah. You're
So
down in the
like
vet. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, so like I feel like I go into every interaction like immediately uh trying to diffuse the situation a little bit.
Mhm.
What wow, hang on. I think I'm realizing do I need people to like me?
Do you feel
Huh.
like that?
I think I think it's not that I need people to like me. I just don't I just
Mhm.
don't want anybody to not like me.
That's the guy that figured out what addition was. He's like, "Well, it's not subtraction."
Yeah,
And he's just
yeah.
like, "Oh, okay, now I get it."
Well, but like who wants who's huh, actually. I was gonna say, like, who
Who wouldn't
wants
like
people
me?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Who wants people to not like them? But it's
Yeah.
not so much that, it's that I don't want them to dislike me.
Yeah, the fact that that feeling is there at all
Yeah.
probably affects something subconsciously.
Uh-huh. But at the same time, I do feel like I'm pretty like okay with like I like me. So at the end of the day, that's all that matters.
When you look in the mirror, you're like, I like this guy." What's your first thought? What's your first thought in the morning when you wake up?
Ah, fuck.
Like you just woke up. Oh fuck.
Yeah, I gotta do all that shit again.
Do you?
Honestly,
Yeah.
That's kind of what it is, like working a 9 to 5. It's like,
Dude.
it's Wednesday.
Oh, dude, the worst feeling ever is when you wake up and like everything, your face, like I don't know how to describe it other than your face just hurts. Like you're so tired,
Oh yeah.
it
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
hurts. And you're just
Yeah.
like, my health bar is at 1 HP. And if I just close
Yeah.
my eyes, it's going up to 2, 3.
Uh-huh.
Oh, fuck, it's back down to 1.
I feel like I'm flashing red. Just like
Yeah.
beanie, beanie.
It's the worst feeling. And then you're just like, I gotta be like, I don't have a choice. And then it makes it
Yeah.
worse.
Yeah.
Dude, speaking of, we were talking about movies, and I don't know if I've really said this on the podcast other than like talking to you, but haven't seen movies. I grew up,
You're not a movie guy.
but the weirdest thing is that I love cinematography and film, and I want to be I want to direct something one day. So
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
contradiction, a walking contradiction, right? So what I did is I made a goal. I was like, this year, I'm changing that. I'm gonna watch a movie as often as I can. Right now, I'm trying to watch a movie every week, at least one.
What have you watched this week? What's the last movie you watched?
So this Sunday, I started it and I watched Gran Turismo. It was the movie that came out last year. It was about the video
Oh,
game.
the racing game?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. How was
and
it?
I thought it was really good. It was probably like the fastest 2-hour movie I've ever seen. It was paced like a TV show. It was really weird. Like
What do you mean?
so I would say the movie's good. I'm not gonna really put it on a scale 1 to 10. I guess you could with movies, but I would say it was really good and I would recommend it. But like with movies, even though I haven't seen a lot, I still could kind of tell that it was paced a little faster than they wanted to.
Uh-huh.
Like there were certain moments that they didn't let breathe. So like say a character has to go through something to show you that side or that experience. I felt like it was just like a quick like 5-minute scene when it could have been like 15 minutes and you could really understand more of the impact. But I still thought they did a really good job with like the characters. I thought the acting got really good towards the end. I thought at the beginning I was questioning it. And that was one thing that I realized too is like when I was younger and I would watch a movie, I would always hear like adults or like people talk like, "Oh, the acting wasn't so good," or that. I'm just like, dude, it's a movie. Like, just
Yeah.
watch it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And like now I'm becoming that because I'm like, even though I'm not an actor, I could tell I'm just like, oh, it's not very believable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You start to
Yeah.
judge the little things, and I don't know if it makes it more enjoyable or not. Did you find yourself doing that during Dune?
Yes, but that's why I like movies, because I like to do that.
Yeah,
Like, I'm a movie guy. Like, I
yeah,
watch
that would be great for post.
Sorry.
Yeah. No, it's all good. 33 minutes.
I'm a movie guy.
Yeah,
I like movies a lot. Like, I have a film degree, and
that's crazy.
I don't I've always been really into movies, man. Like, there's like the Regal like Crown Pass thing where you just like pay a subscription and you just watch. I watch a movie like almost every weekend. Like,
Okay.
go to the theater and watch a movie.
Hmm.
Um, but one of my favorite things to do is like go to a movie with like friends and like go to lunch or like drinks afterwards and just talk about the movie.
Oh yeah.
And especially like every Monday when I get back into the office, my coworkers and I, like the three of us in the uh like
Section or whatever.
media department,
Yeah.
we just talk about movies. Like
Okay.
one of us saw a movie over the weekend and we're going to talk about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I
Mhm.
love that shit.
Yeah. It's fun. It, it also like I think not to talk too much about content creation, but just to tie it in, I think that just being in production at all, just kind of you understand what goes into a movie. And one of the
Yeah.
things I was thinking is like, how, how is this even possible? Like all of the stuff that has to be coordinated. I don't care how much
Yeah.
money you have. The
Yeah.
fact that it's even a thing is
Yeah.
like you were saying the same thing about music a couple episodes ago. Like the fact that a song is written and, you know, produced or whatever is crazy. Like movies, my appreciation for them was just like it blew my mind.
It is really weird to think about. Like every movie you've ever seen, it's like it's there's a saying that like any movie, it's a miracle if it gets made.
Mhm.
Because like all of the hundreds of people that have to work on something, and it has to go through like such a long process, like working with studios,
Mhm.
and you have to get so many like legal like
Licensing.
there's so much that goes into a movie just existing. Like it
Yeah.
really is a miracle that a movie gets made, and then that movie comes out and it doesn't suck.
Mhm.
Like that's a big deal.
Yeah. It's not Madam's Web or whatever?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, but that honestly, just the fact that like a movie like Madam Web comes out,
Yeah.
honestly, as a creative, like I look at that and I'm like, man, that is very encouraging for me.
Yeah.
Because like if a shitty movie can get made, I can make something.
Dude, yeah, and also another thing I noticed was, like, once you start to dive into the understanding of, like, how shots are created, like, compositions and stuff, I started to realize they reused a lot of the same techniques throughout the movie. Like, there might be some movies, like this one I wanna watch is Everything Everywhere All at Once. I wanna see
I
that
love that
soon.
movie.
That's on my list. I
That's
heard
a
that
great movie.
yeah, like, there's certain movies where they use just, so many different creative avenues to get certain shots and whatever. I felt like with Gran Turismo, they did one thing. It's not really a spoiler at all, but they had, like, earbuds in, and they would play a song, like, as it's, like, a part of the movie and the environment, and as they would walk up to the character, they would take the earbud out, and the music would stop. So it's
Yeah,
almost
yeah.
like you're in their head, and they used that, like, 4 or 5 times throughout the movie, and even after, like, the second time, I noticed it, and I was like, "Oh, that's really cool." And then, like,
Uh-huh.
every single time it happened, I started to notice, and I thought it was just cool to, like, recognize that pattern.
Yeah, that's a cool sound design thing. That's called diegetic sound.
Diegetic.
Yeah, whenever the sound is like in the actual movie and not just like or like the characters in the movie acknowledge that the sound is happening.
Yeah.
So like if they're in the car listening to the radio and they turn down the radio and
Right.
like that's diegetic. That's another cool thing. I just love like learning cuz like that's the thing about getting into movies, like you start to
Mhm.
develop like the language of film.
Mhm.
And yeah, Everything Everywhere All at Once. I want to say that's the Safdies.
Mm.
Um, no, that's not the Safdies. Um, but that's a really really good movie. Michelle Yeoh's performance is that movie is. I want to say that's one of my favorite of 2022. 2022, I think.
If you had 3 movies to recommend to me, and you can hit any, genre, what are you picking?
To you specifically, or
Sure.
like to any person.
Yeah, or whoever. If you had 3 movies to recommend to somebody, what would you pick?
I'm gonna do movies that came out recently, cause
Okay.
just so it'll be easier. I would recommend Poor Things, because that movie's just so interesting to look at, and it really explores, like, a lot of cool themes. Um, there's a lot of really great performances in it, and, Emma Stone just won the Oscar for it last night.
Mm,
So,
nice.
she kills it in that movie, but also Mark Ruffalo's performance is fucking dope. So
Oh.
Poor Things, I would definitely recommend. I think my favorite movie of last year is maybe Past Lives.
Mm,
Um, just like such a genuinely moving movie. It that like made me like want to love somebody.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It made me want to be in love
Uh-huh.
and like do it right.
You're about to get new 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 advertisements.
Yeah, yeah. Do you want to love a thick woman?
Yeah.
Past Lives, that's definitely up there. And then I kind of want to say Dune just because it's out. Fuck it,
Yeah,
yeah. I'm gonna
yeah.
say Dune 2 just because it's out. And
Okay.
that movie is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
That movie is so much fun.
Yeah, I gotta
Ooh,
see Dune 1.
what one more?
Okay.
I'll say just because it's so different than the other ones.
Mhm.
Barbarian. It's a
Barbarian.
horror movie that came out two maybe the beginning of last year, maybe 2 years ago.
Mhm.
and that's another interesting one. It's got like some feminist themes in it, and the main character is super interesting, and it's a kind of a hard movie to watch at some points, but it's very, very cool. I don't
Mhm.
love horror movies. I like that one a lot.
Okay. Well, a lot of horror movies to me are just it's hard to recreate the wheel with that genre, I think.
Yeah.
There are some that I've heard that are really good. I can't think of what. There's this one. It's somebody will probably know. It's like super super bloody, and it came out like within the last year or two. But there are some bangers in there. Like I think the last really good horror movie I saw was Nightmare on Elm Street, but that was probably like 10 years
That's a
ago.
classic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, man, I definitely want to get into like cinematography. I told you I was thinking about getting a C stand, which I don't know. They're I have a tripod that could probably do a top shot down. So that's the thing I noticed with I was like looking into lenses too. And the thing I've really been doing a lot recently is just like doing my research. Like I used to blindly buy stuff all the time. Dude, the amount of wasted money on
Yeah.
streaming gear or just stuff that I don't use still to this day is asinine.
I think I think that's sort of good in some way though, because in a lot of in a lot of ways, like you really just need to get started.
Yeah.
Like uh if it's between doing a lot of research and just going, just
Right.
go.
Right.
But I think when you get to the point where you're at, where like you already kind of have enough knowledge to basically do what you want to do,
Yeah.
and now it's just like the focusing to do it more efficient or do it better.
Right.
That's when I think research can really, because I don't know if you need a cease, like what would you use it for, I guess.
My thought was just like going to the park, but like I have a drone. So it's like, do I, you know what I mean? Like I can find a
Yeah.
way to figure it out. So,
Uh-huh.
'cause I was gonna fly my drone in this room, and I was like, I went to like look on YouTube, and I was like, how am I even gonna do this? 'Cause I don't want to just turn it on and then break it because it's
Yeah.
drones are stupid expensive. So I like look it up, and this guy's like putting guards on it, and he's like, you have to go to the setting and turn this safety hazard off. I'm like, okay, let me let me chill before I just do something stupid.
Yeah.
Um, what's like the most expensive like dumb purchase you think you've made?
Ooh, most expensive dumb purchase. I bought a maybe the bass that I have. I bought a 5 string bass guitar, but I bought it off of like Facebook Market for like 150 bucks, and I don't play bass.
Okay.
But I was
Starting a
like,
band or
yeah, I was like, it's like it's a pretty sick ass bass, 150 bucks. It would be cool to learn bass,
Mhm.
but I just have never, because I play guitar, so my head was like, I can figure this out. But I just bass is one of those things that like a lot of guitar players get into after playing guitar for a while, and I feel
Mhm.
like I'm still really into guitar. So like
Yeah.
I don't want to move to bass yet.
Mhm. You're like over eager because it's like the idea is exciting.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly
Yeah.
like I just was excited about being excited.
Yeah, I'm a bass player. It's just
Yeah,
when I
yeah.
walk around.
Really, that's all I wanted to do. I wanted to be able to be like, yeah, I play bass.
Just buy
You know?
every instrument and then say you play it.
Uh-huh. I mean, that's I don't know. I'm pretty good about not spending a lot of money. I will say like there's a lot of books that I've bought and just like haven't read.
Dude, it's so hard. I went to Barnes& and Noble yesterday, and it was so hard not to spend money.
Yeah.
I walked in saying it's kinda like the meme or, like, the joke, like, it'll always be, like, a girl should be like, "I go into Target, only needed one thing, and walk out." It's the same with,
Yeah,
like, someone
yeah.
going to the grocery store. That's me with Barnes& and Noble. I'll, like, go in and be like, "Alright, maybe I'll get a book, maybe I won't." And then I'm, like, in there, and I'm like, "Oh, I want, like, 20 of these," you know?
Uh-huh.
Um, but I ended up sliding out without anything. I found this one book. It was just like it was like how to tell a story, there was like director's notes on the end of every chapter, and I was scrolled through the whole book and took screenshots.
Yeah, yeah,
Just
yeah.
because I was like,
Nice.
dude, I gotta save some money. My air fryer just broke. I lost power.
Uh-huh.
I'm going through it. So
I want to read Berserk.
yeah, that's a popular one. I have a friend that
Yeah.
just bought the $50 leather
Oh, like the
edition.
hard. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
because I went to Barnes and Noble Sunday, and they had I think maybe not the leather one, but they had like a hardcover version,
Mhm.
and I was like, oh man, that's pretty cool. And I've heard about Berserk, like
Same.
it's inspired a lot of the like stuff that I like, and
Mhm.
that's another thing I really like, finding the stuff that I like, and then finding that what inspired that.
Mhm.
Like I love Elden Ring, and Elden Ring apparently has a
Yes.
ton of like Berserk references. So I
Oh,
thought
really?
like, oh, that'd be cool to get into Berserk.
Yeah. I've been getting into Elden Ring.
Dude, the DLC is coming out soon. I'm
I
so
know.
excited about it. I like started a new playthrough recently. I want to
Oh,
like
really?
do the Prince of Death ending.
Yeah. I think I might get it on PC too because it might go on sale, so it'd
Uh-huh.
be fun to slay some bosses.
That would be cool, yeah. Especially
Um,
because the DLC is coming out soon.
yeah, I think it's at the end of June, so
Yeah.
yeah,
That's so
man.
cool.
I know. I love just appreciating art. And I know that sounds so douchey, but like I feel like a lot of the times like I talked about it like on TikTok video or whatever. I was a very like uncultured person. I still am to this day. There's so many things I still need to try or whatever. And I think just being able to like understand there's a step to be taken to
Yeah.
experience new things can just open up so many doors. Like think about for an example like all I was this too, like I only played like two video games, like I only play Call of Duty and
Yeah.
like 2K or Madden, right? There's so many gamers like that, and
Uh-huh.
it's like someone one day told me like, there's story based games that you can play that are really fun, and I was like, and then I took that leap and I tried games like Kingdom Hearts, God
Yeah.
of War, and it was just
Yeah.
like this is a completely different hobby at this point. And I feel like that's the same with like music. Like you'll see like say like Beyonce started doing she had that country album or like producers trying different genres. I feel like it's
Yeah.
so good for your brain and your soul to like just step out of what you're used to.
I recently started watching Avatar: The Last Airbender again, because
The old show?
the live action one just came out, and I don't like it.
No?
But I'm not a huge fan of it.
Okay.
But I started watching the rewatching the cartoon, because I rewatch it every couple of years.
Really?
And yeah, dude, because I just that is honestly like one of my top 5 TV shows, period.
Mhm.
Like I put that up in the like same categories like Game of Thrones.
Okay.
And there's this one bit where like did you watch the show?
I watched like maybe the first season because that's what inspired my Electricity Wave name was that show.
Yeah. There's one scene with Uncle Iroh where he's talking about like the four nations, and it's good to take knowledge from everywhere, because if you take knowledge from one place it becomes stale and rigid. And I watched that as like
Wow.
maybe I must have been like the 4th grade when I saw that, dude.
Mhm.
And I think that was like a formative piece of like
That
knowledge that
developed your brain.
I saw that, and I was like, "I will keep that information. Thank you, Uncle Iroh." And like
Wow.
grew up, and I don't know, man. Like I think about that a lot,
Mhm.
and I feel like I'm open to a lot of different things because of that idea.
Mhm. Open mindedness to me is like one of the most attractive traits in somebody. Like
Oh yeah,
whether
totally.
whether it's a friend, relationship, like anything, like being around somebody that can just see different perspectives is so important. Even if you don't agree,
Yeah, I think
you know.
that's what I look for in like friends, or like a
Yeah.
part, or like just people I want to like be around.
Mhm.
I kind of want them to be able to like teach me something, or
Yeah.
like or challenge the way
Yeah.
I think in some way.
Mhm. That's very important.
Yeah.
Because if you've had, I mean, I'm sure you have been, but being around people that don't want to be challenged, and it's
Yeah.
just
Oh
like,
my god. Yeah.
oh, dude, it feels like a chore to like have a conversation.
Uh-huh. You have to like baby step every fucking disagreement.
Yeah, but
That's another thing. I hate people who just like don't know how to disagree.
yeah, yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah. What if I just started arguing with you?
Yeah. Yeah.
What have you been doing in your free time recently? You said you went and saw Dune.
Hmm. I love just like getting stoned and watching a movie. I watched Dune. I've been spending a lot of time just like going to the park and laying out a blanket and just like sitting there.
Mhm.
Man, I will tell you though, the other day, Saturday, I go to the park. It is a gorgeous day outside. I lay down a blanket. I got like a bag of little snacks. I got like a soda, a
Mhm.
sody pop,
Mhm.
and my guitar, and I'm just sitting there. And this girl comes and she sits like maybe 30 feet away, and she's got her dog with her, right?
Mhm.
No big deal. She lets the dog off the leash, and this dude is just darting all over around me. And I was like, I don't want to be mean, but your dog is being super annoying. Like, I didn't say anything, obviously, but like, I don't know, man. I was legitimately sitting there like, should I say something? I don't know
Yeah.
how you would even approach that situation.
Me personally, I'd probably just get up and move, like, cause it's like a nonverbal way
Yeah,
of saying, "I don't wanna deal with this." 'Cause
yeah.
obviously, if they're not, like, um, patrolling or, like, watching over their dog,
Uh
they don't care that much. Cause obviously any dog owner would be like, "Hey, get over here," cause they would be like, "They're bugging this person."
Yeah. Well, in her defense, she did call the dog over, and it would go over,
They come
but then
right
like
back.
2 seconds later, it would come back and be
Yeah.
running around me.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Whatever, man."
Yeah, it takes a lot to get upset about something, I feel like for me, like, the amount of patience like, if you think about, like, layers of walls, right? There's, like, 100 layers to run through. I'm on,
Uh,
like, wall 98 before I'm, like, actually annoyed in
yeah,
public. Like, it takes a
yeah,
lot of stuff.
yeah,
Like, I feel like a lot of the stuff that happens at the gym, I could, like I could handle verbally, but, there'll be certain people that'll just be kind of in the vicinity, and they'll be, like, right next to the thing I need to get, and I'll just kinda wait until they move because it's like or I'll go and find my own space. Like, I really just don't want to, like, get in people's way or, like you know what I mean? I don't know. I don't
yeah,
like confrontation because it's just so unnecessary. Because 'cause we're both here trying to get a workout in.
yeah. I think most people are like pretty conflict avoidant, like with like a stranger.
Yeah, because you don't know.
Yeah, which is like I think probably fine, but I don't know. I wonder if that's like a specifically American thing.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like, I wonder if French people are I would imagine French people are much more like, "Get your dog away from me!"
That's how they'd say it.
Yeah.
When they're eating snails.
And they're
Escargot.
smoking 11 cigarettes.
Yeah.
They're just smoking it like this.
It has a rubber band around it.
It's
How
like
many
a bunch of
cigarette?
yeah, it's like a bunch of pencils held together by
Yeah,
like a rubber band
yeah. Sharpens them. Mm, how many cigarettes do you think you could smoke?
before I die.
That's just our template every week. Yeah, I think I'd die from one.
I actually have sort of a rule about it's not specifically about cigarettes, but it's about the idea. So, like, the rule is if I am on a balcony with a pretty girl and she offers me a cigarette, I will always say yes. And
Really?
the principle behind that rule is a bad decision can be worth making for a good story.
Oh no.
You know what I mean?
No.
That's the principle behind that
No.
rule.
Dude, it's funny you say that because I don't know if I had it written down for last week or whatever, but I was basically saying one of the most so funny. One of the most annoying things people can do is say, I did it for the story. So the fact that you just admitted that you are that guy,
I well, I just feel like that's a good way to be like, I didn't miss out. I didn't miss out on life or on like an like
less life, actually.
I it's not specifically about cigarettes,
Right.
but like that's the concept. You know what I mean? Cuz like
Yeah.
one bad decision, bad habits are one thing.
Right.
One bad decision I feel like I can justify that.
Mhm. Yeah.
So you
I
kind
didn't
of
s
disagree with that.
I didn't see like, when you mentioned the cigarette rule, I did not know this is where you were going. So, it kinda threw me in for a loop. But, yeah, I would say I mean, I can kinda see where you're coming from, but I would need more examples, I guess.
I don't know. That's
In a
always the
way
example that I give.
yeah, in a way, I see. I guess maybe just that specific example, I'd be like, "No." Um, but, like, I feel like that's just something some I don't know. I feel like that's something someone younger would say.
You think so?
Yeah, I feel like that's someone, like, in high school or college would be like, "Yeah, I just did methamphetamine, one night,
Okay,
though."
but that's. I think it also you have to like weigh the story against the decision. Like,
It was one batch of bath salts. Come on.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I don't
I
know.
think I think what I'm really just trying to get at is like don't let like don't let fear get in the way of having
Yeah.
living life.
Yeah. I
That's like
get
the
that.
thing that I'm trying to get to the heart of.
Right. Yeah. I don't have much to say. I mean, I guess
It kind of seems like you disagree with that though.
I get it to an extent. Um, but I feel like the cigarette is like different than what you were saying with the fear. Like I understand how it links together, but I feel like I feel like that's just like a guy doing like a drug and then saying something motivational after.
Oh yeah, yeah,
You
like
know
just
what I
trying to
mean?
justify it.
Yeah. It's like a
Okay, yeah.
life's all about, just
I
chasing
can
your
see that,
dreams.
yeah. Yeah.
But I get what you mean though. It's just
I don't
it's
know.
just funny. That comparison makes me laugh.
Well, it's
Imagine saying that. Imagine you're with the girl, she offers you a cigarette, and you're like, "You can't let fear get in the way." You know
fuck this guy.
what I mean? Especially
Yeah,
with the way you look and sound.
yeah. I would definitely be like,
Oh.
fuck this guy. Yeah, this guy sucks.
That's a really funny bit to run though, like just to have
Yeah.
motivational quotes every time. That should be the new bit. Is every time someone offers you a cigarette, have a quote ready
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
for the story.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's so
Well,
good.
I don't know, man. I don't know where that started. I know for a fact like that was me extrapolating on something that somebody else told me.
Mhm.
So like, but let me tell you something real quick.
Okay.
There was a party that I was at, and usually when I'm at a party, I'm with the stoners. Like
Mhm.
I'm always hanging out with them. We're
Mhm.
outside and we're smoking. And there was this girl at this party who I just was not a big fan of. She was like the kind of girl who every conversation had to be about her.
People like that.
Um, yeah, yeah, yeah. And there was this guy who like was so clearly and obviously trying to hook up with her. And it was me and them two outside, and we were sharing a joint. And she was talking about like, I don't want kids. I like kids, I don't want kids. But she was talking about how much kids sucked.
Okay.
And like, uh, she was like, yeah, that she was telling him a story about like how much kids sucked, and we were just passing the joint around, and he was doing the guy who's like trying to get laid thing, where he was like, yeah, for sure, no, I totally agree.
He just doesn't hear a word she says.
Yeah, 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 no, yeah,
Yeah,
kids
yeah.
fucking suck, I
World
hate 'em.
domination. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, yeah. And she goes, yeah, that's why I'm on birth control and I never have sex.
Oh, he tuned down.
No, no, no. And then I'm just like, so why bother being on birth control then?
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like the
Oh, you
first
said
time
that?
she like, yeah. And that
Okay.
was like the first time like I was like included in the conversation.
Yeah.
And I don't even remember what she said.
Dude.
But like,
Okay, okay. Yeah.
but like at that point, I thought about that cigarette rule because I was like, I don't know. Maybe I should just go inside.
Yeah, yeah. Right. Dude, that's so funny because imagine you were like, then why even bother? And then the
Exactly.
guy flips and he's like, yeah, why even bother? He starts hitting on you.
He's trying to fuck me out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, let's go inside.
Yeah.
Oh man. That is funny, man. Like the people that you meet at parties are they almost don't feel real
Yeah, yeah.
sometimes.
She did this thing. She did this thing where like you know how sometimes like people will like drink a beer and then crush the can.
Yeah. Yeah.
She did this thing. This one I knew I was like, nah, I'm not a huge fan of this chick.
She ate the can.
She took a can that somebody else drank, put it on the ground, and then like did the splits to crush it with her ass.
Ow!
And I was like, this party's kind of whack.
Yeah. You just killed the vibe. That is
I don't know, man.
that's a dumb decision too, because there's aluminum.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
She like twists her ankle on the way up.
She comes up with her ankles are backwards. Like, yeah, that's.
I don't know.
Have
You
ever
ever hear
what?
that Hannibal Buress bit where he's like, I really want to buy a metal arm. That way, like, if I ever lose my arm, I could just be like, everybody relax. I got this. And he just puts on his metal arm.
That would be now. That would start a party.
Yeah.
You know, he does that after the girl does the splits. He grabs the can.
Yeah.
I got this. You know. Do you think that you would be a good transformer?
I feel like I'd probably be like a helicopter or something.
A helicopter?
Yeah.
Not
But I
like
feel like that's like kind of a lame one.
I think it'd be
Like,
cool to
either
be like a
plane or
Mazda.
car.
Yeah.
Mazda. Just be like a really underwhelming car.
Yeah, because you catch them
That'd be a
off
PT
guard.
Cruiser.
Yeah. You're just like,
Yeah, in disguise for real.
yeah. Like,
Robots in disguise.
you thought I was a 9 to 5,
Yeah.
and then you just, yeah.
Oh, man.
Everybody watch out for that Mazda.
Yeah.
Episode 6, I believe.
6.
Episode 6. Thank you guys for listening. Appreciate you. Glad to have Danny back. Happy St. Patty's Day. Happy Ramadan. And make sure to rate the podcast. We had a couple people rate the podcast. People starting to listen to the podcast and watch the clips on TikTok. So appreciate it. Follow all of our socials if you want to support. And thanks for watching. We'll see you guys in episode 7.
Later.